Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's a more impromptu video right now this afternoon because, well, we have brand new nerf and buff announcements in Hearthstone. It looks like our voices have been heard in regards to Wild, and there have been some other balance adjustments, but nothing too game-breaking, not like a huge sweeping change because the meta, at least in Standard, has been pretty diverse, pretty well balanced to an extent, so there doesn't have to be a bunch of changes. But let's go over what changes are occurring in an upcoming patch that will see a number of cards changed. So first, starting with the nerf to Secret Passage. This has been an absolute powerhouse spell. It's the 1-mana rogue spell that draws 5 cards from your deck, and you swap it with your hand, and you swap it back after you're done playing what you can play, and you keep what you generate. And I've been harping a lot on this card to be nerfed, as a lot of people have. It's just been way too powerful in like any rogue archetype, whether it be aggressive or anything. It's just too good. And my suggestion in my recent video was to nerf it down to 4 cards, and that's what it's being nerfed down to. It will now replace your hand with 4 cards from your deck and swap them back next turn. This card is still incredibly powerful. It's still going to be auto-include in every aggressive rogue deck. It just won't be as good. Is it enough of a change? I'm not entirely sure, but I do think you don't want to kill the card. It's flavorful. It feels very rogue. So, bumping it down to 4 makes sense. And, I don't know. It could see another nerf at some point, but hopefully not. Hopefully 4 is the sweet spot where it's still a very powerful card. It still sees play because you don't want to just kill cards. And we'll see where it goes from there. So overall, it's the change I kind of asked for, so I can't exactly be unhappy with it. Next, we have a nerf to a priest card, Cabal Acolyte. Originally, it's a 4-mana 2/6 taunt, and now it's a 4-mana 2/4 taunt. With the same effect, Spell Burst, gain control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. They made the statement that basically it's like the best performing priest card. It's basically auto-include in every priest deck because, well, you can either play as just a 2/6 taunt, which is pretty good defensively, or, you play it and also steal, and that's incredibly powerful. I don't really feel like this is the problem card in priest. I feel like Wave of Apathy, if you're looking at a card along these lines, is probably too strong. It's like 1-mana Humility, which is across the board, which is insane. I know it's for only 1 turn, but Humility is only usually relevant for 1 turn as well. But yeah, it's been a pretty powerful card. I mean, Priest is very strong, and they want to dial it back a little bit, so it's a way of giving it a shot, and, hitting the defensive options of Priest is pretty good. I don't think this card is very strong anymore. At a 2/4, you can't really play it on curve and hope for it to do much. A 4-mana 2/4 taunt's terrible. So you're really playing it just for its ability, and at that ability, I don't know if it's worth it anymore. So this card might be dead, but we'll see. Definitely a nerf that will hurt Priest for sure. And if, you're on the delete Priest train like a lot of us are, I guess that's a step in the right direction, right? And lastly, the big nerf, the one that saves Wild potentially, is Dark Glare. Dark Glare, the absolute menace in Wild. It's a 3-mana 3/4 demon. After your hero takes damage, refresh 2 mana crystals. It's now been bumped down to 2 mana, so buffed in that aspect. It's now a 2/3, but now after a hero takes damage, refresh a mana crystal. So my nerf suggestion was you just change the effect to refresh 1 crystal, leave everything else the same. They decided to buff it a little bit in cost so that it's a little bit more flexible, but you only get 1 mana crystal. This definitely kills the Wild deck. That's not a thing anymore. You can't cheat enough mana with it. You can't life tap with this and get, 2 mana and play another thing. It's just, it's still a decent card, but it's not going to break the game anymore, and when you're not breaking the game in Wild, it's not playable. So, Wild Dark Glare Warlock is dead in Standard. Dark Glare Zoo, probably, again, not good enough. You're not going to be able to cheat enough mana. You're not going to be able to do things you want to do. Like, it still has the synergy like Raise Dead and Flame It, because you can do that, but you can't life tap with it, and that's a big deal. One of the big things about Dark Glare was being able to play it, life tap, or just play anything that gives you that 2 mana, right? So you could life tap, do whatever, but you can't do that anymore. You have to play, you get the 1 mana. It's not going to be a playable card, so definitely one you'll be able to safely disenchant. And this is great for Wild. The issue I have is Reno Priest is still out of control, and now Quest Mage is kind of back because Secret Passage got nerfed. Darkglare Warlock got nerfed. Guess what's back? Right back to where it started. He is Secret Mage, and not Secret Mage, Quest Mage. And that's quite concerning because I keep mentioning Sorcerer's Apprentice, which, by the way, is a problem in Standard. But we'll get to that at the end of the video. I'll talk about a couple nerfs that maybe we could hope to see after this. And then there's 2 buffs. We have Totem Goliath, which was a 5-mana 4/5 totem. Death Rattle, summon all 4 basic totems, Overload 2. When I reviewed this, I thought it might be playable, but the Overload seemed like a killer, like it was brutal, and yeah, it is. So they buffed it, and now it's a 5-mana 5/5, so a little bit better stats, and now it only overloads for 1. So yeah, this card is a lot more playable. The overload doesn't kill it anymore, and the stat line's a little bit more aggressive. It's basically 1 stat off premium stats plus an insane Death Rattle effect. Is it enough to make Shaman good in Standard? No. Is it enough to really see play in Wild? It may be an odd Shaman, but that's not what the deck wants to do. So I still think Shaman is completely screwed in Standard. It's a good card now. It's not like, you know, game-breaking, and they need a game-breaking card. Shaman needs a game-breaking win condition right now. They don't have it. So it's nice to see, you know, a buff for Shaman. I just don't see it making much of an impact in either format. And then we have Archwitch Willow, which is the Warlock legendary from the set, which is a 9-mana 7/7. Battlecry, summon a random demon from your hand and deck. They have now buffed it. They took off a lot of stats, to be fair. They buffed it by 1 mana. They took off 2/2 on stats, and it has the same effect. Again, in Standard, there's just not demons worth cheating out. The stat line nerf kind of hurts. Like, you lose 4 stats for the cost of 1 mana. I mean, you get to cheat stuff out a little bit sooner, but again, there's just not much outside of Enhanced Dreadlord worth cheating out in Standard. In Wild, again, Q-Block, I think it's too slow, even at 8 mana. Reno Lock doesn't run enough demons, but maybe it makes the difference in Wild. Maybe it's just cheap enough that greed option's worth it, but we haven't seen any play in either format, and I'm not convinced it will. It's kind of reminiscent for me of the buff to Dr. Morgan, where that saw no play, and that was 2 mana, but maybe I'll be wrong, maybe it'll pop up, but I'd be very surprised. So that's all the nerfs and buffs announced. There's a bunch of other stuff, like game modes. There's like a BG event. We'll probably cover that in the weekly news video on Monday, as I can go into a little bit more in-depth on it. But I thought I'd give you guys my general impressions on the nerfs and buffs. And again, I'll talk about what I feel like they missed the mark on the nerfs. Like I mentioned, Apprentice, I think, is a big issue. Quest Mage, I think, is going to be, like, right back as, like, the centerfold in Wild again, because guess what beats Reno Priest, which is very powerful and going to be the best deck in Wild now, is Quest Mage. And everyone, I mean, for the most part, everyone seems to be pretty sick of that deck, pretty frustrated with it. And with Secret Passage and Darkglare being nerfed, that's 2 of the biggest counters to Quest Mage being significantly dialed back or outright killed in Darkglare. And I'm kind of worried that it's just going to be back to Quest Mage Reno Priest again, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. But yeah, Apprentice is just kind of problematic, and Mage kind of is like tier 1 getting to that point in Standard, and it's all because of Apprentice and all about abusing and cheating mana and creating unfair turns. And I think it's a card that's just going to be a problem if they keep printing these, you know, these cheap spells that generate more spells, and I really feel like they need to keep an eye on Apprentice, and I kind of wish it was in this patch, whether it be its spells can't cost less than 1 or bump it to 3 mana or something along those lines. And the other 2 nerf kind of ones I wish they would have hit, one is Tutorial and Pilgrim. Turtle Mage has really started to pop up in both Standard and Wild. It's type of deck they typically don't want in the game, where it's just like infinite, non-interactive kind of combo crap that's just not fun to face in any way. I would have changed to Tolerant that it just consumes the spell rather than discover it, so that you can't go infinite with Potion of Illusions. That would just kill the deck, and that's kind of what Tutorial's kind of should be about. It's like that big 1 mana cheat value bomb, not infinite value bomb mana cheat. So I kind of would have liked to have seen that. And the last one is just Druid. I think Druid is going to be still way too powerful. It's still one of the best decks, and it's one of the most frustrating when it pops off. And I would have hit, whether it be Overgrowth or Guardian Animals, whether you put Guardian Animals up to 8, Overgrowth to 5, something like that. I think those kind of, that type of thing needs to be dialed back, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Are you happy, upset with the buffs, nerfs, all of that? Overall, I'm satisfied. You know, 2 of the cards I wanted nerfed got nerfed, especially Darkglare. That was the number one on my list because of, you know, it's made Wild basically unplayable for me if you don't enjoy playing Dark Glare or trying to beat Dark Glare, it's not exactly a hell of a lot of fun. I am a bit worried that some of these cards that didn't get nerfed, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. We'll keep evaluating. We'll keep, objectively, being critical about it, seeing how it goes. So let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.